I'm inspired by a job advert to write a post about Agile Transformations today. So I see that there's a company in Leeds hiring an Agile lead to do an Agile transformation. Greenfield, you've got, a clear bit of ground to work from. And I thought, alarm bells just started to ring in my head because I've experienced decades of Agile transformations. I started in this industry as a teenager and I'm now 53. And I've seen many, many agile transformations. And the problem is they often do a lot of damage. Now, I'm a big fan of business agility, of embracing change, and I am an agilist for sure. But agile transformations done as projects rather than as continuous improvement just can pull an organization to pieces, damage people, and damage the business. I've seen it so many times. I instigated my first agile transformation probably 30 years ago. So I brought from university the ideas of Tom Gilb's evolutionary delivery to my place of work. And I used this page of the fantastic book pretty much as the foundation of a town hall meeting at my place of work. And we talked about why you would want to do uh, a move to working in small incremental steps with tight feedback loops. And the presentation went down a storm, I have to say, and it inspired quite a lot of talk and eventually change within the organization. Luckily, it was quite a generative culture that we had back then. So I took these ideas from my software engineering degree and brought them to that place of work. And that software engineering degree was very much about project management as much as about uh, coding. And so it really got into the sociology, the anthropology, the psychology, the way that humans perceive, the way that humans communicate, the way that humans communicate what they perceive, the way stakeholders and teams behave, and how they perceive their needs and wants. And it was quite a progressive degree. And at the core was this idea of evolutionary delivery over traditional project management, because traditional project management is from a time when things are definitely much more tangible, much more visible, and knowledge. Long story short, what I've noticed over the decades is the problem with agile transformations is we become obsessed with doing agile rather than being agile. There's this lack of consideration of mindset, of principles, of the why, and a focus on the mechanics, on doing, ceremonies and frameworks like Scrum and Safe. This leads to that commonly used phrase, cargo cult agile. Going through the motions without actually understanding the purpose or achieving genuine agility. Agile transformation becomes sort of a multi-year project with milestones planned out using, a traditional project management approach, actually contradicting its own actual principles about evolution over revolution. It itself starts to hinder agility. The transformation focuses on implementing new processes and frameworks, often without clearly defining or measuring the desired business outcomes. The metrics become about process adherence, velocity, number of stories completed, rather than about customer satisfaction, revenue generated, or time to market improvement. Ironically, that agile transformation can become bureaucratic, top-down initiatives that slow everything down, layers of management with specialized roles involved in transformation, adding complexity and hindering the intended agility and speed. Organizations generally get sucked into the transformation and forget the why, fail to articulate the actual need, the reason for becoming more agile. What is it? What's the purpose? The whole thing just becomes directionless. Quite often what you end up with is this attempt to roll out agile across the organization, but actually it just gets adopted in pockets. You end up with local optimization, which actually is no optimization at all. You end up with this clashing of cultures and ideals and approaches, different ways of thinking, just butt heads. Agile is about iterative and incremental change. So transformations should reflect this. Start with defining clear business outcomes and use agility as a means to achieve those outcomes. Focus on delivering value iteratively and incrementally. Focus on creating a humane, continuous improvement and learning culture. It's about exploration. It's about experimentation. It requires psychological safety. It requires an understanding of sociology and psychology and human relationships. It's about how teams and stakeholders engage within the problem domain. It's the structure of a wide variety of different things, technological and sociological. So that requires really focusing on culture, on leadership, and the very essence and nature of teamwork and the very essence and nature of software.